Welcome to Computer World. In this video, I am going to explain the main parts of the computer and their functions. Let's go. First, we have the case. The case is the aesthetic part in which all the parts of the PC are placed. Also, it protects the components. We can see inside the case the motherboard. Now we have the motherboard. What is the motherboard? The motherboard, it is the circuit board that connects the CPU to other components, and all computer parts are connected to it. Why? Because it allows the components to communicate with each other. Let's look deeper. We can see in the motherboard a small square part, but of great importance. It is the CPU. Stands for Central Processing Unit. What means the CPU? The CPU is the brain of the computer. It processes instructions and performs calculations. It is also known as a microprocessor or processor. A quick note, to make it easier, imagine the computer like a human. Each member of it has functions, and as we explained that, the CPU like the brain, and the brain needs a temporary memory to make it easier for the brain to solve problems, and this is in the computer called RAM. The location of the RAM in the motherboard is there. Now we have the RAM. The RAM is a stands of random access memory. It is temporarily stores data and instructions to be used by the CPU. It helps you run many programs at the same time. More RAM means smoother multitasking. The data and instructions are stored in the RAM, and the RAM sends data and instructions to the CPU, and the CPU work on it. Also, we have a second type of storage that stores data permanently, which is a hard drive. The hard drive stores data that are not currently being used by the CPU. And we have two types of hard drive. Let's go and see what is the types of the hard drive. We have two types of the hard drive. We have HDD, stands of hard disk drive, and the SSD stands of solid state drive. Also, the SSD is much faster than the HDD. How the processor take the data from the hard drive. First, the data is stored in the hard drive. The hard drive, it can be SSD or HDD. First, the data is stored in the hard drive. And when you open a program, the data moves from the hard drive to the RAM. Then the RAM sends the data to the CPU, and the CPU works on the data. Now the mind works perfectly and everything works perfectly, but there is something that must exist, such as a person needs eyes to form images and color. Also, the PC needs a GPU to form images and colors on the screen. Now we have the GPU. The GPU stands for a graphics processing unit. It is responsible for rendering images, videos, and graphics. All these things that we explained will only work with energy. And the thing that supplies the computer with energy is the power supply. What is the power supply? The power supply is the part that gives power to the computer. And a good PSU protects your components. With all these components and energy and work, this generates heat that can be harmful to the device. But we can solve this problem with a cooling system. The cooling system removes heat and keeps the computer at a safe temperature. And we have two types of the cooling system. Let's go and see the types of cooling system. Now we have two types of cooling system. Number one, we have air cooling systems and uses fans and heat sinks to remove heat. Number two, we have liquid cooling systems and uses liquid to transfer heat away from the CPU. Now you know the basics PC components and you can build your PC. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe. Goodbye.